Well, hello everybody and welcome to another Happy Travellers vlog. Today, well, if you've seen the other videos about the HaloView rear view camera, today's the day we're going to fit that to a motorhome. Here's the camera itself. It's a wireless camera, so this sits on the back of the van, and you'll see the camera's angled down so that you can see a view. I think for me, I'd want this bracket to be slightly deeper, and I'd want the camera to be able to face out a bit more. But we'll see whether that view is right or not when we get the thing linked up. We're going to fit it in its current position. So that it's pointed down. It's about a 45-degree angle pointed down, and then we're going to see what sort of view that camera gives from the back of the van on the monitor that's going to come into the cab. But let's my brother-in-law Dave is prepping up the van. He's drilling a hole back through for this bit of 12-volt wiring to go through. The camera is wireless, so that'll just take the wireless signal from the camera and feed that through to the cab once it's all powered up. But let's go and show you us fitting this bit to the back. It's quite a neat little unit actually, and really quite solid. It's actually quite heavy, so really it feels like a really solidly built camera system. So at the moment, on build quality, I can recommend it. So we're up here on the roof line of the motorhome, and the only way you get wire into the motorhome is to drill a hole through the sidewall. And I know you know, we're doing a DIY job here, you know, popping that wire through and then getting the grommet to fit into there, so that's going to be all sort of nicely sealed away behind the bracket and the wire there. So when that bracket all gets screwed back on, that's going to push that grommet in there and seal it up quite nice and tight. But to make sure that that happens, we're going to put a bit of sealant just the other side of the grommet there, so we make absolutely sure that's there. So that's how the camera is going to be sort of situated up there, and you'll see it's got this adjustable sort of weather cover over the top to keep the rain off. That's it, just rested on there, and that's going to be screwed in to the probably the existing holes or some new holes that are there to secure that on firmly. We're getting the sealant on there, and so the next piece is to fit the screen to the cab and get that all linked up and wired in, and see how the Wi-Fi works with these two antennas talking to each other. There's a bit of setup to do where you have to sort of press a couple of buttons to get the camera to talk to the monitor, and we'll see what the picture's like when it's all. So getting the camera just offered up to the rear view, to the rear panel, and fixing up the monitor here, the picture is absolutely stunning. I don't know if you can see that, and that's with the camera dangling down from the cable pointing downwards, so it's actually got a really wide view up. So I think once it's fitted, once the camera is fitted on the back of the van, it's going to be able to see most of the back, right down to the sort of bumper bar, and a couple of car lengths behind. So I think that's a really great camera view. The picture quality on this monitor is stunning. It really is so good, and there are so many menu functions on here that, here's the thing we really didn't know was going to be there. The camera has a microphone in it, feeding sound through to this monitor as well. Look at that. So you can do volume settings. We've got it set on 0 at the moment, but you can just turn it up and you can start to hear the sort of shushing sound in the back, the sort of background noise. So that's that, and then you can reset the picture for brightness, contrast and colour. You can also mirror, and this is a really important thing when you're mirroring a rear view camera, because it can be really confusing if you're looking at a car behind you and it starts to go that way on the screen and you haven't mirrored it, it will look like it's going that way. Then that's a really weird feeling. I've seen that on other cameras, and this is a really good feature.
SD card on the top.
Oh, yeah. We've also got on the top here, you can put in an SD card so that you can actually record the footage onto that SD card. This HaloView rear view camera or camera monitor setup is turning out to be a fantastic piece of kit. I'm so impressed with this. Mirroring, there's Q mode. I don't know what Q mode is. I'll investigate that. There's some other settings. There's an auto scan to find other cameras. There's the parking line. Now I've seen this on modern cars where when you're reversing you get those parking lines. Let's just get back to, I think you'll be able to see those on there. See these red, yellow, red, amber and green lines that on a lot of modern cars actually twist and turn based upon your steering as well, but that's a fully integrated system, and I don't know if this does that yet, but we'll find that out. This is such a fantastic system, I wouldn't be surprised if it actually does that. Let's get on with finishing. So we've finished off the installation of the monitor in the front, and we've got all that set up. We've flipped the camera around so everything looks the right way round from this end, and I've got to say the picture quality and the view on this camera is absolutely stunning. Let's just give you a closer look at that. So here we are in the driving position of the motorhome, and we've decided to put it in the center there, and it was a pretty easy fit actually, because on the Fiat Ducato there's a sort of clipboard mount there, and the mounting bracket easily fitted underneath that clipboard mount and stays there and stays pretty solid. So looking at the camera view there, you can see that all the parking lines are there. You've got a nice wide view. You've got at least sort of 1 to 1.5 car lengths view behind you, and it's a really nice view. Let's take you outside to show you the final situation for the camera. I will say though that the camera could maybe tilt up a little bit more, and to give you, if it's just a rear view camera that you're looking for, then it should be tilted up a bit more. If it's a rear view and reversing camera, then that's probably exactly the right angle, because you can see on here, just there, that's the step ladder that is right next to the van. But let's go and show you the other end. So this is the step ladder that you can see. So we are about 2 foot from the back of the van, with that outside edge of the step ladder there, but you can see the angle of the camera there pointed rather downwards. Let's take you up there to show you a bit closer in. So we've got the sort of the weather screen across the top the aerial that you can angle around. I'm going to just drop it into there so it's a bit more out of the way, and you've got the very, very clear camera here, being protected a little bit from the weather there, and also there's a little microphone input there that we spoke about earlier. Fitting was pretty simple. Once we drilled the holes through and got over the anguish of drilling holes into the motorhome, that was all fine. So there we are, that's the fitting of the HaloView rear view camera system. It's wireless. You do need a little bit of 12-volt power running to the camera at the back, so you need a little hole in the back of the van. Most have those already pre-drilled. If they haven't, then it's pretty simple, as long as you make sure that it is sealed well enough to not let water in. There's a rubber grommet supplied for the cable entry, and that just sits behind the plate that screws onto the outside, and should squash that in enough to stop any water ingress. The front monitor is super simple. That just plugs into the cigar lighter and is then powered. You can power it differently if you want to. You can wire that directly in and mount that in all sorts of different places. The mounting kit for that is super simple and super flexible. So that is the HaloView MC7108 rear view camera system. It can take up to 4 cameras, I think, and give you a split screen, quarter of the screen for each camera. So you could have a rear facing camera, side facing cameras, and a forward facing camera, should you so choose to get those extras into the bargain. But if you've been impressed by this camera as I have, and the picture quality, why not think about buying one of those? You can get one online out of Amazon, or I'll put a direct link up to the HaloView website. I am super impressed with the simplicity of fitting and the quality of the picture and the Wi-Fi connection through there. Now this camera system is replacing an existing camera system that was on the van. They already had a wireless camera, but the wireless signal was so jittery as to be unusable, and that's why this camera has been fitted on this van. Anyway, if you've enjoyed watching this, why not give us a thumbs up? And if you want to continue to follow us on our journey as we live full-time in our motorhome, travelling around the UK and Europe, consider subscribing. Click that button down there. And if you want to be a super subscriber and get reminders every time we upload new content, ring that bell right next to the subscribe button. But thanks so much for watching. We really appreciate your views, and don't forget, if you've got any thoughts or comments, put those in the comment section below. We love to read them, and we respond to as many as we can. But that's it for today. I'm going to see you again tomorrow. Bye bye for now.